Imagine you are standing in your kitchen, coffee in hand, on a completely ordinary Tuesday morning. You take a sip. You glance out the window. The sun is rising. Birds are singing. Everything feels normal. Then, without warning, something impossible happens. Gravity disappears. Not weakens. Not flickers. Disappears. For the next 5 seconds, the force that has held every person, every building, every ocean, and every breath to Earth simply stops existing. You are no longer standing on the ground. You are floating above it. And so is everyone else. 8 billion people. At exactly the same moment. This becomes the worst 5 seconds in human history. Right now, gravity feels invisible because it has never failed you. Every morning your feet touch the floor without a second thought. Every step you take depends on a force that has remained constant for billions of years. It shaped your bones, strengthened your muscles, and built every living creature on this planet around one silent promise. The ground will always pull you back. But what if that promise suddenly broke? Most people imagine gravity as something pulling downward. It isn't. According to Einstein, gravity is the curvature of space itself, created by Earth's enormous mass. We are not being pushed toward the ground. We are following the natural curve of space around our planet. Now imagine that curve instantly becomes flat. Nothing is prepared for what comes next. Not your body. Not your home. Not civilization itself. And here's the terrifying part. The moment gravity vanishes, you don't slowly drift upward like astronauts aboard the International Space Station. You launch. Everything around you begins losing its connection to Earth. Your coffee cup slips from your fingers but never falls. The chair behind you starts drifting through the room. Your phone lifts off the table. Outside, cars begin rising from the streets while millions of people stare in disbelief. The sky is no low. Everything that is not firmly attached to the earth begins to rise. Your coffee mug drifts away from your hand. Plates slide off the kitchen counter but never hit the floor. Chairs, books, lamps, toys, and televisions all begin floating through the room. Outside, the impossible unfolds across the entire planet. Cars lift from the asphalt. Motorcycles, bicycles, buses, and trains slowly lose contact with the ground. People reach for anything they can grab, but there is nothing pulling them downward anymore. Then the oceans begin to move. Water that has remained locked to Earth for billions of years starts peeling away from the surface. Rivers lose their shape. Lakes bulge upward. Along every coastline, enormous sheets of seawater slowly rise into the sky. For a brief moment, the planet looks strangely peaceful. No explosions. No earthquakes. No deafening sound. Just silence. A beautiful silence that lasts only seconds. Because Earth never stopped moving. Our planet spins once every 24 hours. At the equator, the surface is already traveling at nearly 1,600 kilometers per hour. At the same time, Earth races around the Sun at more than 100,000 kilometers per hour. Normally, gravity keeps everything locked to the surface while the planet moves beneath us. Now that invisible anchor is gone. You are still moving with the speed you already had. But the Earth keeps spinning away beneath you. From your perspective, the ground suddenly slides sideways. Buildings move away. Roads disappear beneath your feet. Entire cities seem to drift across the horizon. You are no longer standing on a planet. You are separating from it. For the first time in your life, there is no up. There is no down. Only motion. Only silence. Only the terrifying realization that nothing is pulling you home anymore. And just when you think floating through empty space is the worst thing that could happen, the very air around you begins. The atmosphere becomes your next enemy. Most people never think about the air they breathe. But Earth's atmosphere is not simply sitting around the planet. Gravity is holding it here. It is an ocean of gas nearly 100 kilometers thick, pressed tightly against the surface by the same invisible force that has just vanished. The instant gravity disappears, the atmosphere begins escaping into space. Not all at once, but fast enough to become deadly. The air around you starts thinning. Every breath suddenly feels different. Your ears begin to ache as the surrounding pressure rapidly drops. It feels as if invisible hands are pushing sharp needles deep inside your head. Your sinuses burn. Your chest tightens. You instinctively inhale. There is less air than there was only moments ago. Your lungs struggle to find enough oxygen. Then something even more frightening begins. The air trapped inside your lungs wants to escape. The pressure inside your body is now greater than the pressure outside. Every breath becomes a battle against physics itself. Around the world, billions of people experience the same terrifying sensation. Pilots lose lift as the atmosphere changes around their aircraft. Helicopters become uncontrollable. Commercial airliners suddenly find themselves flying through air that is disappearing beneath their wings. High above the Earth, satellites continue their silent orbit while the blue atmosphere below begins fading into the darkness of space. The familiar blue sky slowly loses its color. The horizon becomes darker. The line between Earth and space starts to vanish. The planet is being stripped of the blanket that has protected life for billions of years. You are no longer simply weightless. You are watching your world lose the very thing that made it habitable. And yet, this still isn't the greatest danger. Because while you are fighting for every breath, the ground beneath the people who remain close to Earth is being. The ground can no longer hold itself together. Every skyscraper on Earth was designed with one assumption. Gravity never changes. Every steel beam, every concrete column, every suspension cable carries an enormous downward load every second of every day. Engineers spend years calculating those forces so buildings remain stable. Now, in an instant, those calculations mean nothing. The weight that held everything in balance is gone. Steel beams compressed for decades suddenly lose their load. Concrete floors begin separating from their supports. Glass panels crack as entire buildings shift in ways they were never designed to. Suspension bridges become unstable. Their massive cables, once stretched tight against gravity, suddenly lose tension. They whip violently through the air like giant steel snakes, tearing apart the structures they once supported. Across the world, construction cranes twist uncontrollably. Power lines drift from their towers. Shipping containers float from cargo ships. Millions of tons of machinery begin moving in directions no engineer ever imagined. But human structures are only the beginning. Far below your feet, something far more terrifying is happening. Deep beneath Earth's crust lies an ocean of molten rock. For billions of years, immense gravitational pressure has helped keep the planet's interior in equilibrium. Now that pressure has suddenly changed. Underground stresses begin shifting. Ancient fault lines that have remained locked for thousands of years start slipping. Volcanic systems become unstable. Magma chambers expand. The planet itself seems uncertain about how to hold its own shape. Nobody knows exactly what would happen next. Because nothing like this has ever occurred. Not once in Earth's 4.5 billion year history. Human civilization was built on the assumption that gravity would never disappear. Every bridge, every city, every mountain, every ocean, every living creature, all depend. Space begins reaching in. Earth has always been protected by an invisible shield. You cannot see it. You cannot touch it. Yet every second of every day, it quietly saves your life. This shield is Earth's magnetic field, created deep inside the planet by the movement of molten iron within its core. It stretches thousands of kilometers into space, deflecting charged particles from the sun and shielding the surface from dangerous cosmic radiation. Without it, life on Earth would be very different. Some scientists believe that if gravity were to vanish instantly, even for a few seconds, the motion inside Earth's core could become unstable. If that happened, the magnetic field might weaken or flicker, even briefly. No one knows for certain. Because gravity has never disappeared before. But if the shield failed, the consequences would begin immediately. Streams of high-energy particles from the sun would pour toward Earth with far less resistance. Invisible radiation would race through the upper atmosphere. Satellites could suffer massive electronic failures. Communication systems might suddenly go silent. Navigation networks could collapse. Power grids around the world could experience devastating surges. You would not see any of it. Radiation has no color. No sound. No warning. It passes silently through your body, damaging cells one by one. It does not kill instantly. It writes the damage into your DNA. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station already face this danger every day. Even with shielding, NASA carefully monitors radiation exposure because too much can increase the risk of cancer, damage the nervous system, and harm vital organs. Now imagine billions of people suddenly exposed to a world with a weakened planetary shield. The effects would continue long after gravity returned. But none of that compares to what happens next. Because after 4 endless seconds, the impossible ends. Gravity returns. Without warning. W. Gravity returns. There is no warning. No countdown. No gradual increase. One moment you are floating in silence. The next, the planet grabs everything back. Every person suspended above the ground suddenly begins falling. Children. Parents. Pilots. Astronauts. Billions of human beings are pulled toward Earth at exactly the same instant. Cars that had drifted hundreds of meters into the air crash back onto highways. Airplanes lose control as gravity violently reclaims them. Ships slam into oceans that are no longer calm. Entire walls of water crash back onto the surface with unimaginable force. Along every coastline, gigantic waves race inland. The impact creates tsunamis unlike anything in recorded history. Buildings already weakened by the disappearance of gravity begin collapsing under their own weight. Bridges snap. Roads fracture. Power plants fail. Cities disappear beneath clouds of dust and debris. Then you hit the ground. 5 seconds may not sound like enough time to rise very high. But even a fall from only a few meters can be fatal. Many people would have drifted far higher. Some would have been carried upward by escaping air currents. Others would have been thrown sideways by Earth's rotation. For countless millions, the impact would be unsurvivable. And for those who somehow lived through the fall, the nightmare would only be beginning. Hospitals would be destroyed. Emergency services overwhelmed. Communication networks crippled. Food and clean water would become scarce within days. The world would face a humanitarian disaster beyond anything in human history. Yet perhaps the most terrifying part of this story is not the destruction. It is the realization. Gravity never promised to stay. We simply assumed it always would. For your entire life, you have trusted an invisible force without ever questioning it. Every step you have taken. Every building you have entered. Every breath you have drawn. Now comes the question that should truly unsettle you. Could this ever happen? According to everything modern physics tells us. No. Gravity has never simply switched off. Not on Earth. Not on the moon. Not around distant stars. Not near black holes. Not anywhere in the observable universe. For more than 13.8 billion years, gravity has remained one of the most reliable laws of nature. Scientists have watched stars explode. They have seen galaxies collide. They have detected black holes merging over billions of light years away. Through every cosmic catastrophe, gravity has never disappeared. It has only changed strength. It has only changed shape. It has never vanished. And that may be the most comforting fact in the universe. But it also hides a frightening truth. Everything you call normal exists because a handful of invisible laws have remained perfectly consistent since the beginning of time. Gravity. The speed of light. The strength of the fundamental forces. If any one of them changed by even a tiny amount, stars might never have formed. Planets might never have existed. Life might never have appeared. You are alive because the universe has been astonishingly stable for billions of years. Every morning you wake up expecting the floor to be beneath your feet. You never stop to wonder why. You simply trust that gravity will still be there. That trust has never been broken. Not once. Yet imagining a universe where it fails reveals something extraordinary. The earth beneath you is not as permanent as it feels. Your home is not standing because it is strong. It is standing because the laws of physics allow it to. You are not truly standing on solid ground. You are being held to a spinning planet racing around the sun at more than 100,000 kilometers per hour, while the entire solar system orbits the center of the Milky Way, and our galaxy itself hurtles through an expanding universe. All of it held